Stand by all cameras.
Ready with slow motion, the dice limited cameras.
Stand by videotape and rotate.
And tape is rolling in less than 5, in 3, 2, 1.
Take tape.
And these are the St. Louis Cardinals. Troubles all year long with injuries. They have a fine coach. They have some excellent talent. Great speed on the outside. Mel Gray is back tonight, number 85. And setting the ball up to get things underway is Jim Bakken. And dropping deep are speedsters, number 22, Mercury Morris, and Charlie Lee, number 23, and they can fly. Mercury Morris having his best year in 4 years. Over 600 yards rushing, about 25 yards per kickoff return. And listen to the roar. They love their Dolphins. This will go to Charlie Lee. Lee up out to the 25-yard line. Hit there by newly activated Cardinal, Chuck Beatty, number 31. So Miami will take over 1st and 10. We've told you. Well, now let's look back upfield. There is a flag down against Miami. Holding and decline. The Cardinals like where things wound up. Half the distance to the goal. I did not decline it. I'll correct myself. He took the call, half the distance to the goal. Again, Earl Morrow will open at quarterback. We've mentioned Earl Morrow. His two setbacks are number 22, Mercury Morris, Larry Zonkas, 39. The wide receivers, 81, Howard Twilley, and Otto Stowe, 82, replacing the injured Paul Warfield. Now, Marlon Briscoe, number 86, is in the lineup, rather than Howard Twilley. And getting the call is Mercury Morris, following the block of Zonka to the left side, up to about the 17-yard line. Stopped there by Ron Jankowski, activated tonight. He's number 78. The defensive front four of the Cardinals. Bob Rowe is 75. He's one tackle. John Richardson, a former Miami Dolphin, is the other tackle, 71. Don Brum, the veteran defensive left end, is number 86. Stallings, 67. Arneson, 57. In the middle, Terry Miller, 58, are the linebackers for the St. Louis Cardinals. Second down and 9, the ball resting at about the 13-yard line. Now coming in motion is number 81, Howard Twilley. Play fake by Morrow. The screen goes out to the flat. Attempt there to Otto Stowe. He had blockers in front, but he couldn't hold on to it. Terry Miller back there defending, number 58. That's secondary for the Cardinals, as they can expect the pass, the draw, or the screen from the Miami Dolphins. Norm Thompson is the right cornerback, 43. Roger Worley, who used to play corner, is now the weak safety, number 22. Larry Wilson, the veteran, number 8, is the tight safety. And Miller Farr, number 8, the left cornerback. Third down and 9. Ball at the 13. This is Earl Morrow, passing 55% on the year. And looking deep, and it's out to Otto Stowe. And rules complete out to the 30-yard line. Stowe covered by Norm Thompson.
Frank, let me quickly say that one of the problems that St. Louis has been belabored by all year is the absence of a pass rush. We're going to look at Otto Stowe now on this play. He was a top draft choice a year ago from Iowa State, cracked up with injuries, but a very highly regarded young football player. We'll talk more about the absence of the Cardinal pass rush as the game develops.
And just short of the 30-yard line, the first down for the Miami Dolphins. And here comes the lightning one. Mercury Morris over the 35 to the 37. Mercury Morris averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and he's finally stopped by Mark Arneson, the middle linebacker, number 57. And on the sidelines, Bob Holloway, who's had his problems in his second year as the coach of the St. Louis Cardinals. He has only 6 men tonight that are starting, that have been regular starters in their positions out of 22. That'll tell you the kind of year it's been. Many injuries for the Cardinals. Gain of 7 by Morris. It'll be second down and 3. The ball at the 32. Both wide receivers, Twilley and Stowe, out to the left. And here comes Zonka. Donka over the 40 to the 41. First down, Miami. And Holloway's counterpart, Don Shula, what can you say? 5 times the coach of the year. He's gunning for it again. He took the Baltimore Colts to the Super Bowl. He took the Dolphins to the Super Bowl. The big prize has eluded Don Shula this year here in Miami. They think that Don Shula will come up with the big win, of course, the Super Bowl. First down, Miami, moving from their own 41. Again, the wide receiver. Quilly, 81, Stowe, 82, move out to the left. Tight end with 80, Marv Fleming, the bottom of your screen. And the attempt was to Stowe, working against number 8, Larry Wilson.
And that brings up again the story of the absence of a Cardinal pass rush. The Cardinals, and people in the NFL know this, have one of the best defensive secondary groups in the National Football League. Miller Farr, Roger Worley, Larry Wilson, Norm Thompson. But, and let's watch in slow motion as that pass rush can't penetrate. Because of the absence of the pass rush, these fine receivers have had trouble defending, and they've allowed a 63% completion average against them throughout the season. And it's not really their fault.
Just underway in the Orange Bowl, you're watching the undefeated Miami Dolphins. They have 2 first downs, second down and 10 from the 41, and Morrill is in trouble, and Don Brown nails Morrill back inside of his own 30 at the 28.
If you call that a sack, Frank, which I think you must, that's only their 11th sack as a team this year.
And contrasted with Miami's 24.
Jim Langer is the center. These guys open up some holes. They protect that quarterback. And you love to see it. The tackles are Cruson and Evans. And Marv Fleming, the tight end, is a good blocker for him, too.
Right now, Don is third down and 22. Mandich has come in at tight end. Briscoe is in a 1 wide receiver. Morrow with a lot of time, but finally just about nailed as he just gets the ball away. Flags are down at the 40-yard line.
Well, I want to see that one again on what you call your instant replay. Because Earl's arm was hit, as you pointed out, Frank, as he threw it. It's nowhere close to target. I believe they are going to call an interference. Let's see which side it's going to be on. And it is against the Cardinals. A tough break for the Cardinals because who was the intended receiver? Could you see? Anyway, whoever he was fell down. And they were trying to get up and get it again. Let's see what that call is.
Personal foul.
Earl had plenty of time, but he can't really find anybody open. Now let's watch it. I believe that is either Don Brum or I believe that's Brum that comes right there at the last. And just as he throws, you can see that ball kind of squirt out there. Ball was almost intercepted by Stallings. It appears to me that it's a... Is that call a personal foul call? Personal foul. That means it was... He did something.
That's what they called it.
Yeah, he's not supposed to do something out there.
First down, Miami. They're at the 44-yard line. Coming back into the game is the regular tight end, Marv Fleming. Wide receivers are 81, Quilly. Top of your screen, 82 is Otto Stowe, the second-year man from Iowa State. And here comes Mercury Morris. Larry Little out in front, and coming up quickly to make the stop is Miller Farr, number 20. Morris getting back just about to the line of scrimmage. And you saw Larry Little, and he was voted for the past 2 years by the Players Association as the best offensive lineman in football. Watch him pull.
He's number 66, and look at 67 behind him. That's Kuchenberg. They're really very proud of their pulling guards here. It looks like to me as Stallings is pressuring in here. And you saw number 20, Miller Farr, come up, so he may have taken a little bit too deep a drop that last time.
1 second down and 10 from the Dolphins 44. Flag down at the middle of the line of scrimmage, and that generally indicates holding. We'll wait for the official call, but when you see that flag go down in the middle of the line of scrimmage, that's generally the call. And that's exactly what it is.
Well, they've been pressuring Earl a little bit more than we expected. Of course, what Shula's going to have to watch out for is a letdown in his team. They've clinched already in their conference, and they've still got, including tonight, 4 games to go. And Frank Gifford knows something about that as we watch the penalty paced off against the Dolphins. Let's watch for the referee's signal now. Yes, holding. Now, Frank, you remember when your Giant team, of which you remember, clinched very early, and you know what the problems were.
One of the problems as we watch head coach Don Shula is keeping the momentum going, and that's what he said. We are going to play our regulars, and we are going to go with our best, but we would like to have other players playing. Second down now and 25, the ball at the 29-yard line of the Dolphins, following the holding penalty. No score from the Orange Bowl in Miami. The draw call to Mercury Morris, and he's tripped up, getting back to about the 34.5-yard line, where it'll be third down and about 20. What a year Mercury Morris has had as he starts to go to the sidelines. Jim Kick comes in, and instead of Mercury Morris coming out comes Larry Zonka. But Mercury Morris with 5.5 yards per pop, 11 touchdowns, trails only Emerson Boozer in that department, with 639 yards. Okay, third down and 19. The screen goes out to Jim Kick. Gets a good block, breaks loose. Over the 40 to the 42, but he'll be far short of the first down. That block was by number 66, Larry Little. Bob Rowe, number 75, got over along with Dale Hackbart, number 49, to make the stop for the Cardinals.
Good defensive play that last time by Larry Stallings, who actually was right in the middle of that screen. He slowed Kick down. There's my old partner that's just been activated this week, Billy Lothridge.
Boy, he has been around, Don.
He has, the kid from Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck.
Deeper Roger Worley, 22, 85 Mel Gray, and both of these men can fly, particularly Mel Gray, a 9-2 sprinter. 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Apparently the Cardinals have turned back the Dolphins in their first offensive attempt. And Worley showing a lot of courage at the 24-yard line. Roger Worley in his fourth year out of Missouri, and we'll be back at the Orange Bowl right after this message. 9 minutes and 50 seconds remain to be played in the first quarter. The St. Louis Cardinals on your right, the Miami Dolphins on the left. The Cardinals stopped the first offensive attempt of the Miami Dolphins. They now take over first and 10. They'll move from their own 24, and here is another much-traveled football player, number 10, or the number 15, Gary Quazzo, in his 10th year. Coming in motion. As up the middle goes number 44, Donnie Anderson. He's nailed there by Bill Stanfill.
Here's a good shot. Manny Fernandez, let's take a look at him. Number 75. Straightens up the guard. Watch him move down that line. Got some help there by Bill Stanfill, number 84 also.
Gain of about 2. The ball resting now at the 31. It'll be second down and 8. Offensive wide receivers. 84 is Walker Gillette. And this is the pass from Quazzo to Gillette. He fumbles the ball. Well, Tim Foley had the ball once. Did it get away? It did, and it's picked up by Dick Anderson, number 40.
What a money player that Dick Anderson is. He's got a nose for the football. Fans will remember the interception and touchdown run in the playoff game against Baltimore last year. This year, a key interception on Namath, the pickup of a fumble by Cliff McLean in the big game against the Jets a week ago. Picking off a Mike Garrett muff, moving in for a key touchdown against San Diego. Anderson is not a no-name. He's a quality football player. Number 40.
First and 10 for the Dolphins. They move now in the Cardinals' 29-yard line. Here comes Morris. And Morris just getting back to the line of scrimmage, met there by Mark Arneson, the middle linebacker for the Cardinals. Mark Arneson, a rookie from Arizona, forced into action really by head coach Bob Holloway when Mike McGill was injured, Jamie Rivers were injured, and the rookie has shown a lot of promise. Not big, 6'2", 220. Morris, in fact, loses a yard. The ball resting now just over the 30. It'll be second down and 11. Morris again. Here comes Kuchenberg, number 67, with the block. And look at him go. Out of bounds at the 25.5-yard mark goes Mercury Morris.
Don Brum did a heck of a job that time stringing it out from his defensive end position. He was playing off his block, kept his feet, forced Morris out wide. When you do that, it enables the secondary, and as Howard pointed out, they're one of the best in the business. Come up, closed out that play, didn't pick up much yardage at all.
All right, Jim Kick has come in, replacing Mercury Morris, probably for added passing strength. Third down and 7. The ball at the 25.5-yard mark. Stowe goes out to the left. He's met there by Norm Thompson. Out to the right goes Howard Twilley. Picked up by Miller Farr. The tight end is on the left side. All the way down to the 8-yard line goes Howard Twilley. And this man sometimes is amazing.
Really pretty, Frank. It looks like he has one-on-one. Back with Farr, you see Kick coming out of the backfield to pull the linebacker Stallings out. There's a big hole in there. You may have noticed that before that game, Zonka went up and set outside the tight end, called a trip set. That brought Larry Wilson and Roger Worley over, putting one-on-one with Farr.
3rd and goal, the ball at the 8-yard mark. Kick stays in with Zonka, and Kick with a fine block springs Zonka around to the 5 and down to the 4. All conference last year, Bob Greasy. And he's getting around good, Howard.
Yes, he is getting around very good indeed, and I think he's going to be back very, very shortly. But Morrill has done such a marvelous job. Let's take a look at this last play, the block by Kick, number 21, to the right of your screen. There you see it. And you see Zonka trying to turn that corner, but you see a superb job done by number 22, Roger Whaley.
It's 2nd down and goal. The ball's at the 5. Here comes Zonka straight ahead, following Jim Langer, Larry Little, and Bob Kuchenberg, the middle of the offensive line for the Dolphins. Bob Holloway, who has been credited with having built the Minnesota Vikings defense, where he spent 4 years with head coach Bud Grant.
Well liked by his team members.
Don Merle's got a tough ball right here. His 3rd down. Well, it's a long 2.
I still give it to Zonka.
That isn't all that tough, is it? When
It
you
wasn't
have a 237-pound fullback. Well, let's see. The 2 tight ends are in. Mandich has come in, number 88. Marv Fleming, number 80. This is the veteran Earl Morrill. He gives it to Kick. And look at Kick.
You give it to Kick right behind Zonka, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Because that Zonka laid a good block over
Give
there.
that young man, John, so much credit. It's not been a happy year for him. He's been supplanted by Mercury Morris because Shula wanted the wide running threat.
Look at this. Little leads out. Watch Zonka's block, number 39. Kick just lowers his head. He gets number 43, Norm Thompson, and takes him on in with him.
This is a happy team. That's the point I wanted to make. Despite the fact that Kick, as a Cardinal, seems to be injured there on the field, despite the fact that Kick has been supplanted by Morris, there's a togetherness on this club that's terrific. Number 58, Terry Miller, appears to be the injured Cardinal linebacker, swung into action because of the injury last week to Jeff Staggs that sidelined him for the rest of the season.
Gary Yepremian has come on to attempt the conversion. Earl Morrill will do the holding. 5:57 remaining in the first quarter. The Dolphins out in front first. A little sidewinder. Set an NFL record a few years ago at Detroit. And he drills it. The Miami Dolphins lead the St. Louis Cardinals 7-0 on a beautiful night for football from the Orange Bowl in Miami, where we'll be back right after this message. This happened just a few moments ago, Don, and watch him run.
Points out the individual effort. Frank, watch Kick as he cuts off left tackle. Lowers that shoulder. Got good leg drive. Kick's a good football player, as he's proved the last few years. That's Norm Thompson, number 43, that he meets about midsection there, and takes Norm back with him.
Here's the littlest man in the Dolphins squad. Sidewinder, Gary Yepremian. Kicking deep, Bobby Moore, the All-American from Oregon, has it at the goal line. Out to the 15. You don't want to let him loose. He can fly, and he just about popped. Out to the 23 goes Bobby Moore. It'll be 1st and 10 for the St. Louis Cardinals.
He's one of the leanest, most supple-looking athletes I've ever seen, as well as one of the best dressed. He could run a contest with Walt Frazier of the New York Knicks. And he's going to be a great one. He's the spitting image of Lenny Moore, whom you so well remember, Frank.
He does have that same kind of grace. Out to the right he goes. That's number 28, Bobby Moore. The setbacks, Johnny Rowland, 23, Donnie Anderson, 44. Tight end is Jackie Smith. Here comes Mel Gray. And this is Donnie Anderson. And Anderson over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Stopped there by Dick Anderson.
Donnie is remembered as the biggest bonus baby of all time during the pro football war, a glamour boy. But he's really a very introspective and thoughtful young man who doesn't give off the glamour image in personal conversation. He's worried about himself, about a possible loss of speed. Yet twice in the last 4 games, he's run for more than 100 yards.
And he picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Firing over the middle to the big tight end, Jackie Smith. And look at him go.
He can run.
Jackie Smith, the 10-year veteran, and as Don Meredith said, you don't want to let this man get in your secondary because he can fly.
Not only that, Sandy, he came back from a knee injury, remember, in the San Diego game a year ago, which was a Monday night game, and a lot of people were worried about whether or not he'd get it all back. I think he demonstrated right there he has.
Do a quick toss right over the middle. Saw Quazzo hit it. He was wide open. He came inside the linebacker. He's trying to pick up that block. Looks like Mel Gray out in front of him, number 85. He can run. He was a sprinter in college. Really a nice guy, too. Like old Jackie.
At Little Northwest Louisiana, 32-yard gain, 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. They move from the Miami's 42-yard line. Johnny Rowland takes the pounding as he goes off right tackle.
And he got 2 yards, Frank. He broke the record right there. He needed 1 to tie. Have you got some information on it?
Well, he broke Charlie Trippy's record, and that has stood for a long time. And Trippy's record was 3,510 yards, so Rowland has made Cardinal history.
Still is. Look at him. He looks like a football player.
He gains 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The ball at the 38. 3:23 remaining in the first quarter. Here he comes again. Johnny Rowland.
He looks like a football player. He is a football player. That must be a football player.
Funny thing, in the light of the way things are currently going, we're advised that we'd see a lot tonight of Leo Hayden, who had been the Vikes' #1 draft choice a year ago, is now the property of the Cardinals because Hayden's got speed, and they haven't been satisfied, quite frankly, with the speed of Rowland and Anderson as a duo. But the way these two guys are performing now, we might not see Hayden for a while.
Johnny Rowland takes the ball all the way down to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. They trail 7-0. Quazzo on the play fake. Going for Mel Gray, and almost picked off.
He had Bobby Moore wide open on a turn-in over there. Of course, you can't see them all, I suppose.
Quite an interesting young man, Don. He's, well, I don't think it'll hurt your feelings. Probably made a cap out of Virginia 10 years ago.
Well, was he magna cum laude is all I want to know. Huh?
What he is a dentist. That's what he is.
He's a dentist playing quarterback.
And he is 2 for 3 for 35 yards. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 22. Rowland, and he's met there by Bob Hines, number 72. Good defensive front 4 for these Dolphins. 72 Hines, Manny Fernandez, highly underrated according to middle linebacker Nick Bonacati. 75 Fernandez. Vern Den-Herder, the defensive left end, Nick Bonacati says made the difference in this defensive team from last year. He's number 83. Number 84 is Bill Stanford,
who's having his best year according to Nick.
And his 3rd down now and 9. Out to the right goes the rookie All-American from Oregon, Bobby Moore, number 28. In the slot is the speedster, 85, Mel Gray. This is Gray coming towards you in motion. He's run the 109 too. Wow. Oh! Jake Scott almost picked it off. The pass intended for the big tight end, Jackie Smith.
Jake Scott, they call the wild man. He does unpredictable things on and off the field. They say he's often not where he's supposed to be, but yet he's where the ball is. I can't reconcile the two, but he's a player. Let's watch Bobby Moore out of the University of Oregon. All alone. Now watch his frustration. Oh!
This is Bakken. Oh, from the 27, no good.
That's not like old Jimmy.
What a year for the place kickers.
So the Miami Dolphins maintain their lead, 7-0. And on the sidelines, Gary Quazzo talking with Eddie Hughes, the assistant coach. We'll be back after this. 1 minute and 38 seconds remain in the first quarter from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Jim Bakken has just missed the 27-yard field goal attempt for the Cardinals. They trail this team, the undefeated Miami Dolphins, 7-0. Dolphins now moving from their own 20. Zonka, Morris the setbacks. This is Zonka following Kuchenberg, number 67, and what a block.
Boy,
Ooh, that hurt.
I tell you what, I always wonder about that guy. You know, what does a guy like Norm Thompson think about when he's going to hurt? He knows that's going to hurt. Here's Kuchenberg running right at him, and man, he buried him.
I want to tell you, we're seeing a lot of great guards in the league these days, especially in these 2 consecutive weeks. Little and Kuchenberg here with Miami, Johnny Wilbur, number 60 and 73, Paul Lavick with Washington, and they're reviving the memories of 63 and 64 with Green Bay, Giffer, Thurston, and Kramer.
2 fine ones and good tackles. Doug Cruzan, 77, Norm Evans, 73, the leading rushing team in the American Conference. Zonka got 8, second down and 2 from the 27. And pounding very close to the first down is Mercury Morris. And he gets the first down.
Remember the way Mercury Morris sounded off after the Super Bowl shellacking? Complained about not being played. Shula met with him privately, chewed him out, said, talk to me about it, not the press. But Shula took note because he started playing his point. That's right.
Over 639 yards coming into the game. There he goes. He's spun up at the line of scrimmage. Number 60, Jim Hargrove, made the tackle. He came in to replace the injured Terry Miller, who was injured when Jim Kick went in to score for Miami.
Matter of fact, Giffer, when Mercury Morris was started this year over Kick, a Miami sports scribe went up to Shula and said, why handle it this way as the quarter ends? We'll finish this story in just a moment. That is the end of the first quarter with the St. Louis Cardinals trailing the unbeaten Miami Dolphins by a score of 7-0.
Larry Little's Dolphins have a second down and 8. The ball at the 32, their own 32. We begin the second quarter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Number 82, Otto Stowe, in his second year out of Iowa State, and he has replaced Paul Warfield, and that's not an easy job.
That's exactly the point, though. They're deep and wide receivers, much in the manner of the Dallas Cowboys. Watch Stowe here.
Norm Thompson, number 43, he was open. So was Marv Fleming, incidentally, from his tight end position. Pass was a little bit low in there, but Otto jumped down there and got it.
First down for the Miami Dolphins. They move now from the 48-yard line, their own 48. And here comes Mercury Morris. He's over the 50 to the 47-yard line, hit there by number 8, Larry Wilson.
Just to finish that story, the Miami sports scribe went to Shula and said, why start Morris? Why not let Kick down gently? You know, let him start the game, take him out after a few plays, but do it as a token. Shula looked at the writer and said, my friend, I am not a token coach.
No, he is the winningest coach. Won his 100th game 2 weeks ago. But it's a good story, Howard. Second down and 5. From the 47. And the quick pitch out to the speedster. And Morris gets just about back. Well, maybe he gains a yard.
Norm Thompson made a good move again, Frank, from his defensive cornerback. Came up. I'm serious, man. You got to think twice when you come up to meet a guy that's running full speed. He's got a couple of friends out there in front of him that outweigh you about 30 or 40 pounds. He says, I'm going to go up here and get it over with.
All right, the 3 wide receiver offense comes in. Howard Quilley places the tight end, Marv Fleming. 81, top of your screen. Stowe will be in the slot. Out to the left goes Briscoe, number 86. Third down and 4. The ball at the 46-yard line of the Cardinals. The draw play to Morris. And Morris is nailed by former Dolphin John Richardson, number 71. And out trots Garo Yepremian, and he is going to have to kick a long one. And he will be kicking, I think, well, just mark it at the 54. Now, he's made one this year already. "54 yards away from 3 points for Miami. This will be Roger Worley. And Worley comes up 3 yards short of letting it go through the end zone. Stopped there by Larry Little. So the score remains the Dolphins 7, the Cardinals nothing, and we'll be back right after this. 12 minutes and 16 seconds remain in the half. The Miami Dolphins out in front of the St. Louis Cardinals 7-0. Garo Yepremian has just missed on a 54-yard field goal attempt. This is the Cardinals quarterback, Gary Quazzo. In motion goes Mel Gray. The toss goes out to Donnie Anderson. He can pass.
He did.
And watch out. And Mel Gray, the speedster, crosses the 50, out of bounds at the 49, driven out of bounds by Jake Scott.
What a pest that little fella can be. He went to Missouri, as most of you know. Dan Devine, who was then coaching at the University of Missouri, found him at a Santa Rosa high school where he was a sprint star. Let's look at it again.
That was well thrown, Howard. That one was right in there. Donnie threw that one on the run. Left-handed. What about, excuse me? Where did he find him?
Little Santa Rosa High School. Knew he played football. Saw him also in a track meet. Knew he wanted him at Missouri.
He gains 34 to Miami's 49-yard line. And it's a Donnie Anderson, the running back. Picking up one, maybe two, met by Nick Bonacani, number 85. All right, the Cardinals pick up three. It'll be second down and 7. The ball at the 46. Quazzo going out to Mel Gray. And he's met there by number 25, Tim Foley, at the 41-yard line, a gain of 4.
That's one of the guys you don't hear about. Cornerback Tim Foley, the other cornerback, 45, Curtis Johnson. The way they've learned to come up and hit hard, so that nobody can turn the corner against them, the way they've learned to cover people.
3rd and 3 from the 42. Anderson, Dick Anderson. He can turn on the excitement.
I'll tell you, he's too much.
Finally stopped by Walker Gillette. That pass thrown behind, John.
He is always where the football is.
When they had like 13 blocks on it and he ran it for a good 5 or 6 minutes, it seemed like one time.
It's Baltimore in the playoffs.
That's right. That was the biggie.
That ball looked to be tipped. I really don't know for sure. Possibly was tipped in there by number 83, Dan Herder. But look at him go. He's looking for some open room. He was finally caught up with
Walker Gillette.
right, 84. Attaboy, Frank. Thanks.
You're welcome. And now from the 48-yard line, here comes the big man, Zonka. Just back to the line of scrimmage. Mark Arneson is there, number 57, along with 75, Bob Rowe.
You mentioned Arneson on a tackle. His coach, who coaches the linebackers for the Cardinals, says that he has the capacity to be up there with the likes of Curtis and Butkus and Lanier. And we'll develop perhaps more on that later if he figures in the contest. I'll tell you why he makes that judgment.
All right, second down now and 9. The ball just short of the 50-yard mark. Earl Morrow tossing out to Mercury Morris. Zonka gets the block. Morris down to the 45. Stopped there by Norm Thompson, number 43, coming up from the right corner.
And Arneson, 57, was in there again.
It'll be 3rd down and 3. And right now, the Dolphins from the 45-yard line of the Cardinals on 3rd and 3. Morrow trying to go out to Morris, incomplete. And I would suppose the little Garo Yopermian will have another shot from about 2 yards closer, probably about the 49-yard line of Miami, or a 51-yard field goal attempt.
I suppose he will. The point Shinnick was making, Frank, I'd like your judgment on this, having played with so great a one as Huff, and yours, Don, having played with Jordan. Well, we'll have to watch the kick first.
I can hardly wait to give you my opinion.
Left-footed. In 1966, he one time kicked 6 of them in one game. Number 52 in his block. And Larry Wilson,
He's picked him up and gone before. Wait a minute.
Darrow ended up with the football. It, of course, does not matter. But Larry Wilson raced in, and I believe number 31, who was just activated today, Chuck Beatty.
That's right.
Made the block
From the Steelers, Skip.
All right, now the Cardinals have their break.
Let's see, it appeared to be, well, it's not too low either. That was just, I can't, who is that? Who is that guy? Number 75, Bob Rowe. I think that's the 4th field goal he's blocked this year.
So a big break for the Cardinals. They trail 7-0. We'll be back after this. Bob Rowe just blocked a Miami field goal attempt with 51 yards. The Cardinals with their first major turnover. 1st and 10, they move at Miami's 35-yard mark. The play fake by Gary Quazzo. And trying to go deep. And is he nailed by Van Herder. Van Herder. Second-year man out of Central College in Iowa.
He has become some story.
And on second down and 17, we have the prevent defense for the Dolphins. And they come with the blitz with a three-man front four. In and out of the hands of Johnny Rowland.
A lot of open territory, too, had he been able to corral it.
He ordinarily is a very good receiver. I believe he could have had that one. That was a little high, but it wasn't that high.
All right, it'll be third down now and 17. 8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the half. Again, Miami out in front, 7-0. Jim Kick went in from 2 yards out. That in the first quarter. Dolphins have missed 2 field goal attempts, one of 54 and one of 51. On third and 17, the Dolphins with their three-man rush, 3 big men. They have brought Matheson, 53, in the extra linebacker. Mel Gray motions left. Out to Donnie Anderson. He can't hold on to it.
That's another one looked like he was in there. Hey, for a dentist, he's throwing pretty well tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, they may go for the field goal now, and this would have to be a very long one by Jim Bakken, who was once perhaps the most consistent of all place kickers in the league. Oddly, as we look at Anderson isolated, Bakken this year has been having the troubles that have afflicted other place kickers. Look at him now. Ready for the reception, the ball right in the gut and out. But Bakken this year, he's already missed a 27-yarder tonight, has been less effective between the 20 and 30, Frank, than between the 40 and 50, where he's got 4 out of 6.
And so Bakken is going to have time to think about it. St. Louis taking a timeout. And we'll be back at the Orange Bowl after this. Well, that happens every so often, particularly when you make as many changes as the Cardinals have been forced to this year. They did not have the right people in the right places. But this will be Bakken's attempt from 49 yards away. Good. And it's good. Jim Bakken from 49 yards out.
Just as we were saying, Giffer, he can kick him from 50, but he can't from 27.
Jim Bakken puts the Cardinals on the scoreboard.
A supposedly weak St. Louis team giving them at this point a good game of it at 7-3.
And we have 7:59 remaining in the half. Jim Bakken kicks. Charlie Lee, in and out of the hands, touchback. People have started shuffle the card fan clubs.
Took an ad out in the paper.
That really helps the football team.
Gives you a lot of support.
Really. First and 10 from the 20. Both backs coming out of the backfield. This is Briscoe. Nailed there by Larry Stalling, 67.
Miami has the leading ground game in the National Football League. They've been averaging over 200 yards a game on the ground, and it seems to me Earl's been throwing a lot against this club.
I think you're right. He's thrown 8 times. That's not an awful lot for one quarter, but it appears that he is. That Briscoe's been a fine addition to this ball club, too, Howard. I'd like to hear you get into that one in a little while.
On second down and 2, and big hole.
There he is.
Jim Kick.
Look at old Sundance go.
Cut his hair. Cut his hair, Don. Looked at Morris, said his is short. He's got the starting role.
Hey, look at it. Had a good blocks up there by that front four we've been talking about. Look at that effort on Kick's part to gain an extra yard. Keep that balance, put one hand down, kept going. Got another good block by Zonka there in the middle, too. These guys work very well together.
First down, the ball at the 37-yard line. 6 minutes, 43 seconds remain in the half. And Kick again. This time, Larry Stallings holds on to trip Kick up just at the line of scrimmage. The Miami Dolphins making a couple of changes. Jim Mandich has come in at tight end, 88. In at offensive left tackle, number 79, is Wayne Moore, as Doug Grizan has gone to the bench. It's second down and 9. Kick with about a yard gain. The screen goes to Briscoe, and he can throw it also. That's 3 for 3 for him.
Yeah, that's a pretty play. I like that. That's fun.
You're right about Briscoe being able to throw. He played quarterback, as most of you know, in the American Football League.
And Otto Stowe is the receiver with a 26-yard gain.
There's a lateral out to Briscoe. He sets the throw, and you can tell he's done it before. Otto Stowe is there. That was not two forward passes, as you possibly noticed that the ball from Earl Morrall to Briscoe was thrown laterally, so that would be termed as a lateral than the other forward pass. Only one forward pass per play.
Miami out in front, 7-3. Clock shows 5:48. Zonka gets the draw call, and he just bulls his way for about a yard and a half.
Dandy, you said talk about Briscoe. You just saw part of his value. That, incidentally, is the third pass he's thrown this year, all complete.
Earl Morrall, who filled in 68, as most football fans most certainly will recall, took Don Shula's Baltimore Colts to the Super Bowl. Here, he's trying it again for Miami. It's in and out of the hands of Otto Stowe. Spider-Man, drafted number 1 in 1956 by the 49ers. He played at Pittsburgh. He was at Detroit. He was with the Giants. He was with Baltimore. And this is his 5th club.
Best backup quarterback in football. He can do it.
This young man shows a lot of promise, Howard. Otto Stowe.
He does. You measure a team not just... You build a team with your front four on defense and the quarterback who can do the job on offense. But then you lose the great young quarterback, Greasy. You lose Warfield. When you've got Stowe and Twilly and Briscoe, that shows the depth you need to win a championship.
And they're all three in now on 3rd down and 7. Marv Fleming, the tight end, coming out on the sure pass. Oh, and Larry Wilson. Oh, wait a minute. Fly goes down. Pushing, pass interference, 1st down, Miami. Cardinal secondary, Thompson 43, Worley 22, Wilson 8, Miller Farr 20. Both wide receivers now go out to the right for Miami. Morrow falls down on the play fake, and he's immediately buried there. Richardson, 71, was there, along with 75, Bob Rowe, and
Well, that happens. All you can say is just really is embarrassing. It looked like, let's see, it looked like he trips over somebody's foot. Possibly his own. Yep. I'd say, well,
Nobody's
perfect.
happened to you, John?
Right. Yeah, it happened to me way too often, but you see he's faking his Zonka. He comes back, trips over his own feet, falls down, and usually you have a hard time getting up. For some reason, you try to get up in a hurry, and you just can't do it. You know, after 17 years, you're going to trip and stumble every now and then.
all right, it'll be 2nd down now and 18. The receivers are Briscoe. He goes to the right, Stowe's out to the left. The tight end, Mandich, is in now, the 3rd-year man out of Michigan, replacing Marv Fleming. In there. Briscoe. Marlon Briscoe. He's got the 1st down. He's inside the 15.
I was talking about a while ago, this guy does have a lot of speed, too. And when they picked him up, that was one of the reasons he can't move. He's just going down, and he's working on Miller Farr, number 20. Comes through on the inside. That's a well-thrown football, by the way, right in the seams. That's Stallings, number 67. But look at him when he gets it. He's got his eye moving for that defensive back.
Howard, not to put you on the spot, but how did he get here? Number 86, he led the AFC in 1970 at Buffalo.
You figure it out.
Played out his option, did he? Up in,
No, he didn't. He was traded. It was another of Shula's great deals.
And he gives the Dolphins a 1st and 10 at the 13.
As a matter of fact, yesterday, Frank and I asked Nick Bonacani what happened with Briscoe. We thought Shula got him down here to play ahead of Twilly because he's faster than Howard. And Nick said, you wouldn't believe Twilly. He's done everything. He's even running fly patterns. He's having an incredible year, and he just beat Marlin out. But what a guy to have on the bench in Briscoe.
He goes out to the right, Stowe out to the left, 2nd down and 8. The ball marked right at the 10-yard line. Oh, the blitz is on. And zeroing in on Earl Morrall is Roger Worley and Mark Arneson. The full blitz for the Cardinals.
well, Worley is the free safety. That is Worley. You see number 78 in there first. And a whole bunch of them get around him. I have to give a lot of them credit for that one.
You've been under those a few times, Don. It really gets noisy, doesn't it? All right, 3rd down now and 15. The ball marked at the 13. Briscoe out to the right, Stowe out to the left. Going deep for Briscoe, and this time covering Briscoe well was number 20, Miller Farr, brother of Mel Farr. fine feather act in the National Football League.
Interesting the way Shula uses Mandich in these situations, Frank, because obviously Shula considers him a better receiver than Fleming, who's known for his blocking, but has not been known in recent years for his receiving.
So Garo Yepremian comes on, and this man has not missed all of last year from inside the 30, nor has he this year. 14 of 24 overall, 15 of 25. You can almost say it's automatic when it's inside the 30 for Garo Yepremian. As the Dolphins extend their lead over the Cardinals to 10-3.
Football conference being upset by New Orleans yesterday, and within the last 3 weeks having lost to two overwhelming underdogs, New Orleans and Denver. So it's a must-win game for the Rams. And, of course, Atlanta is right in there, too. A big one next Monday night.
Underway. This will go to Mel Gray in the end zone. And keep in mind, this man has run... and the fake reverse this time by Mel Gray. Down he goes. Great defensive play there by number 51 of the Dolphins. All the way down there is Larry Ball.
And Larry Ball is a big, good-looking rookie from Louisville. He's 6'6", 225, and he can hit. Let's take a look at the time of possession, which I think tells an awful lot about Miami's dominance, but it's not the kind of dominance that you'd expect in the score. 20 minutes in effect to 8 minutes, more than double the time of possession, and yet it's a 10-3 ball game.
And there is the 2-minute warning. Gary Quazzo going over to discuss things with Bob Holloway, and we'll be back at the Orange Bowl of Miami right after this message. Gary Quazzo comes back into the huddle. He's been talking with head coach Bob Holloway. Gary Quazzo, who once played for head coach Don Shula. In fact, he's been around. He played for Bud Grant up in Minnesota. And he had a very satisfying win this year over the Minnesota Vikings.
Also played for Tom Fears at New Orleans when Kilmer beat him out of the job.
All right, he has his job cut out for him. The Dolphins leading the Cardinals 10-3. The ball resting at the 13-yard mark. 2 minutes left in the first half. Mel Gray complete at the 35. Little Mel Gray, can he fly? He's only 5'9", 170 pounds, as he's dropped in the arms of number 13, Jake Scott. Quazzo uses another timeout. Comes over to talk to Bob Holloway and Ed Hughes, a couple of former teammates of mine. That's Ed Hughes, the former head coach of the Houston Oilers. And across the field, the strategy continues. Holloway with Quazzo.
Frank, I see Freddie Height come in, number 88, and Donnie Anderson go out. The coaches mentioned they might go into a double wing set with only one running back. Let's see if they use that particular set this time. Try to get as many receivers as they can out to flood the zones. Another thing you might notice in the 2-minute drill, you see Quazzo explaining the pass pattern there, is these receivers are told to run their patterns approximately 5 yards deeper than they ordinarily do, because everybody's going to be dropping back and defending against the pass.
You called it too, Don. It is the double wing. Moore, top of your screen, now coming in motion. And now Quazzo trips.
Well, now, if he trips over his foot, it's going to be like father, like son there.
Gary Quazzo tripping, pulling away from the center.
I think more important, Frank, they're going to have to use that third timeout, or they're going to line up and have to go again. Let's see what they're going to do. They're not going to call timeout, I don't believe.
When the receivers get back, you'll see the official start the clock. There it is, 1:45 remaining in the half. And this time, they get it off quickly and out of the hands and almost picked off there by number 57, Mike Colin.
Now, that one wasn't even very well thrown for a dentist, because it was about 3 or 4 yards behind him. They're obviously trying to get the ball to the outside so they can stop the clock.
They call him Captain Crunch, a nickname he dislikes heartily.
Sounds like a cereal. Third down and 16. Clock shows 1:39. The Cardinals trailing 10-3. The draw play now to Donnie Anderson. The Cardinals go back to their set offense. Out to the 35, marking it for 36. Manny Fernandez made the stop, number 75.
We've just had a word asking us who called timeout.
Miami obviously wanting to get possession
Had to do
of
it.
the football.
St. Louis is out.
They have both now used 2 timeouts. 1:27 on the clock, and dropping deep is Jake Scott, number 13, and Dick Anderson, number 40. 40 up close is Anderson, deep is Scott. Anderson, the left-footed kicker, and he can get it up there. Scott risking it at the 15. Fumble. Cardinals have the ball.
Fumble. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Well, he could not have advanced had not Scott had possession, but he did have possession. He fumbled the ball and is marked at the 8-yard line. 1 minute and 11 seconds show on the clock.
Monday Night Football. It could only happen here, Don.
Let's see what happens to him, because here's Scott. There's a tackle right there, number 31. He's just been activated. I don't know who that is.
That's Chuck
Might be
Beatty.
Beatty again. Yeah, Beatty's around a lot. He's around that ball tonight.
He wants to play. All right. Bobby Moore goes out to the left. Out to the right comes Mel Gray. First and goal for the Cardinals. They're at the 8-yard line. Donnie Anderson fumbles, and this time it's picked off by Stanfield.
I tell you. Well, that could have really turned it around right there. If they could have brought that one in there, we could have been in a big upset. Let's see. I didn't see Donnie get hit. He's got the ball. He never did get a good exchange from Quazzo. Looked like he reached for it a little bit. That's Stanfield, number 84, who picks it up. He can advance it. And he almost fumbled. Should have lateral.
He was thinking about it, and that may be why he almost fumbled. But what a succession or even comedy of errors.
Clock moving. St. Louis now with 3 turnovers. Miami with 1. They have the lead, though. This is Zonka. He doesn't fumble. He didn't fumble at all last year until that critical point in the Super Bowl. Zonka picks up the first down. He moves out to the 27-yard line, and Miami uses a timeout.
I was just sitting here thinking, now, what do you think that Don Shula could tell Earl Morrow that he hasn't told him over the past few years that he's been together? They go over here.
Earl,
Huh?
only thing he could tell him is, Earl, forget January 12, 1969.
Oh. He has to keep reminding him of that.
Probably told him to be careful.
Be careful.
How do you be careful, huh, Don?
You don't trip on your own feet.
This is kick. And kick over the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Working on the clock now. And quickly they line up.
Why do you think they haven't been using Morris that much tonight, Don?
I don't really know. Oh, that was in there.
Briscoe holds on.
And man, what a lick.
Oh, he took a
Roger
shot.
Worley may be down on that one because he took a heck of a lick from Briscoe. The ball was well thrown. The referee is going to call timeout. There's an injured player. Let's take a look at it. Marlon Briscoe, that ball is right in there. And look at Roger Worley, number 22. He's down. When the referee calls timeout for an injured player, that player has to leave the game for at least one play. It is not a charge timeout. Roger appears to be okay. You see him walking up there on the sideline. He really did take a good lick there.
Probably kind of wondering where he was for a while, but he's all right. Replacing Worley in that secondary. With 13 seconds remaining in the half is number 31, Chuck Beatty, just activated tonight. He's been, as Don mentioned earlier, all over the field on the special teams. Also in there in the pass prevent defense is number 49 for the Cardinals, Dale Hackbart. And Mandich is in offensively for the Dolphins. First and 10 from the Dolphins, 48.
I'm telling you.
Briscoe again, Marlon Briscoe.
He's throwing that ball well, Frank. That ball was well timed. It appears that they're out of time.
The Dolphins had no more timeouts, Don.
That's right.
You saw the referee shake his head. The time has run out.
Now that's that receiver, Briscoe. If he could have at all gotten out of bounds, that would have given him almost a sure field goal.
And that's the story at halftime. The undefeated Miami Dolphins out in front of the Cardinals 10-3. The halftime statistics, the two big items. Offensive plays, Miami has run off 40, St. Louis 19. It's reflected in the time of possession. 21-14 for Miami, 8:46 for St. Louis. Cardinals will receive as the Miami Dolphins continue to try to do what has never been done, go through an undefeated season, through the playoffs, into a championship. And this is Garo Yepremian dropping deep, number 28. Bobby Moore, the rookie from Oregon, great athlete on your left, and number 85, the speedster from Missouri in his second year, Mel Gray. We've been told that Terry Miller has nothing seriously wrong with him, but he did not come back after being hit by Zonka. This is Mel Gray. Mel Gray tripped up, crossed just over the 20 to about the 22. Curtis Johnson, the cornerback, was down there to make the stop. Offensively, the Cardinals return as they left. Gary Quazzo at quarterback, number 15, the setbacks. Anderson, 44. Rowland, 23. The tight end is Big Jackie Smith, 81. Walker Gillette, 84. One wide receiver. Now Gillette is out. Mel Gray stays in, number 85. And the Cardinals, with their first time of possession in the second half, move from their own 22. Anderson on a play fake. Looking for the screen. This is Jackie Smith, the tight end. And Smith moves over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Stopped by Dick Anderson, number 40. Anderson, one safety, along with Jake Scott, number 13. The cornerbacks for Miami. 25, Foley. 45, Curtis Johnson. The linebackers, Bonacani in the middle, 85. Doug Swift, 59. And Mike Colon, 57, the outside linebackers. And Bob Matheson works in and out. And a three-man defensive front four, and that's what we have now, the Miami's 5-3.
That's the 53 defense we talked about, Frank, with Matheson in there.
On 1st and 10 from the 37. And scrambling is Donnie Anderson, met by Bob Matheson. Originally started his play at Cleveland. Came to Miami last year and has done a fine job in their, particularly in their pass defense. Gain of 2 by Anderson. It'll be second down and 8. Moving now from the 39 of the Cardinals. Trailing 10-3. We're just underway in the second half. Out to Johnny Rowland. I believe it was deflected. All right, the front three for the Miami Dolphins. Bill Stanfield, 84. Manny Fernandez, 75. Vern Dana-Herder, number 83. That's big number 83 on the left. And number 57 is Mike Colon. Those are the conversions. The Cardinals have yet to make one. And the Dolphins have made 50% of theirs. Cardinals yet to come up with a first down on a third down. They have now 3rd and 8 from their own 39. Mel Gray goes to the right. Moore is out to the left. The tight end, Jackie Smith, the other receiver, bottom of the screen. Oh, thrown way behind Mel Gray, and well, Quazzo was very fortunate that was not picked off.
He was, and that's some defense that they throw up in a situation like this. Bonacani went out, Mumford came in, gave him 5 defensive backs as we look at Mel Gray in the replay.
Well, that's Anderson there first. You see that Gray's going to the inside. The ball is thrown closer. That's Swift there, I believe. He had a shot at it. Anderson almost had a shot because I believe it was slightly deflected, yeah.
And here's Donnie Anderson. Came from Green Bay, of course, that trade from MacArthur Lane. Left-footed punter, having a good night. Came into the game as we look at Jake Scott, number 13. Anderson came in, averaging a little over 41 yards. He gets it high. Scott doesn't care. He'll try the run back, and he is really nailed at the 31-yard line. 37-yard punt by Donnie Anderson. So Miami will take over their first offensive possession of the second half. They lead the Cardinals 10-3, and we'll be back. 12:47 remaining in the third quarter. Miami taking over the football. They'll move from their own 31-yard line, just short of the 31. The wide receivers, 86 Briscoe, 82 Otto Stowe. This is the veteran, Earl Morrow, All-American 17 years ago at Michigan State. Zonka, 39, one setback. This is Zonka. And he picks up a couple, a very stingy Cardinal defensive unit. And considering that they were 11th in the NFC's East, or rather in the entire National Football Conference against the rush, they've done a pretty good job against the AFC's number 1 rushing team. Gain of 1. It'll be second down and 9. Marv Fleming, the tight end for the Dolphins, number 80. Mercury Morris out of the hands of Don Brown, but Larry Wilson hangs on out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Larry Wilson, part of a secondary that now includes again Roger Worley, number 22, back at safety, was shaken up just before the half. Norm Thompson, the right cornerback, 43, the left cornerback, Miller Farr, as they will anticipate the pass from Earl Morrill on a 3rd down and 8. Jim Kick, perhaps a better receiver than Mercury Morris, comes into the Dolphins offensive unit. The 2 wide receivers, Briscoe, 86, Stowe, 82, move out to the left. They're picked up by Wilson and Thompson. Morrill finds Kick. That's why he's in there. Kick, 1st down, after the 44-yard line.
Oh, a cagey little call. Let's watch Kick. He kind of goes in and tries to kind of lose himself there in the middle of the line. Watching that linebacker, you see him. He says, I got to miss this guy. He just barely, that's Arneson, the middle linebacker we were talking about. He gets away from him. Here comes Miller Farr, number 20. Doesn't get away from him, but does pick up a nice gain.
So the Dolphins pick up their initial 1st down of the 2nd half. Again, both wide receivers out to the left, Stowe and Briscoe. Marv Fleming, the tight end, top of your screen. Ball up to 44, and here comes Zonka. 237 pounds, and look at him motor.
What power?
18-yard gain down to the 37.
Number 66, Little, the guard we've been talking about quite a bit tonight. Watch Zonka follow him. Got a good block on Stallings there.
Did he ever?
Watch him. That's Roger Worley, number 22. He just picked Worley up and kept going. Larry Wilson. He really is a power runner. Here's another shot of it from a different angle. You see him follow that block. Lowered that shoulder just at the right time.
Live action from the 38, 1st and 10. Kick again. Getting just back to the line of scrimmage.
Miami fans are as rabid as any fans we've ever seen anywhere. And down here, they had a column within the past 3 days to the effect that number 43 of Washington, Larry Brown, isn't the greatest. They admit he's a very good back, but they say on a yards gained per try basis, Zonka shows up better than Brown. Now that's in a Miami case.
Boy, would I like to have both of
their
them.
opinion. That's the ticket, the 2 of them together.
2nd down and 9. Kick out of the backfield again. Morrow with time to throw. He's going deep for Stowe, wide open. Otto Stowe. And this man has put on some kind of performance tonight.
How did he get it that deep?
Well, I think they blew his own back here. Maybe we can see it again, hopefully, because...
All right, we got...
This is Thompson.
Otto Stowe. He's working on Norm Thompson, number 43.
Got to be the zone. He lets him go. Or either that or he got caught looking in. I think he
got caught looking in there, and he turned a little bit slow, and Stowe used that speed of his.
He's got a big career. Oddly was almost cut because of Warfield, and he got racked up with injuries, as I mentioned earlier. But he's a player.
He's caught 4 for 96 in relief of the injured Paul Warfield, who probably could have played tonight, but is being rested. Garo Yepremian adds the extra point. The Dolphins lead the Cardinals 17-3, 9:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Otto Stowe, a 2nd draft pick in 71. Miami's 1st pick, by the way. And he had a great career, Iowa State. 10 touchdowns, set a big 8 career mark for receptions there. As we look at Garo Yepremian getting set to kick deep. Number 85. On the right is Gray. On the left is Moore, 28. This will be Bobby Moore at the goal line. And Moore eases out to the 25-yard mark. Let's take a look at that touchdown a moment ago, Don. And what I really liked was the way Earl Morrill steps back into that pocket.
You'll see that he drops pretty deep, Frank. His offensive line is pushing him behind him, and now watch him. He'll come back up into that pocket a little bit.
Boy, that's beautiful.
Great protection. He throws that one a long way. We have shown you Otto Stowe behind Norm Thompson there, and I believe it was just he just beat him man on man, and Earl had time to throw.
All right, the Cardinals now trying to get back into it. They trail 17-3. Mel Gray motions left. And Gary Quazzo having bunion problems again.
Well, one has to wonder at the transition in the Miami attitude from the first half to this one. They came out. St. Louis couldn't get anywhere. Had to punt. Miami moved downfield with the touchdown pass you just saw in the replay. And now the defense looks fired up.
That could be what you call one of your omens.
Lloyd Mumford is 26. He's replaced Nick Bonacani in the pass defense of the Miami Dolphins, who on a second down and 16 are anticipating Quazzo's pass. Both wide receivers to the right. Moore and Gray. Now Gray motions left. Bobby Moore doesn't hold on. Should have had it.
Yep. That one was well thrown. Good deep turn in. He ran a good route, and he was open. Gary that time stepped back. He had pretty good protection. Let's take a look. This is Moore running his route. You say a turn in, he'll come down about 10 or 15 yards and look into the inside. It wasn't that good a route. Thought it was better than that. He just kind of went there and looked in.
Well, we might see it again. It's third down and 16. It was open, as Don mentioned, and you watched. We might see it on the other side, as now Moore goes way out to the left, where this time he'll work against Curtis Johnson. Here comes Gray, just as it was a few moments ago. Both backs flooding as they did a moment ago.
And you were right. There's the same pattern call. He just went to a different receiver this time, and he's still up. But not for long.
Johnny Rowland. And the Dolphins now are playing defensively like the team they are, a team that is number one against the rush, number one against the pass in the American Football Conference. Johnny Anderson on with his left foot to do the punting deep to Jake Scott. Low, and he's been hurt. And Anderson bobbles the ball. Break for the Cardinals. Cardinals recover on their own 42-yard line, 47-yard line.
Frank, this is one of the things that's strictly a judgment call. Anderson saw that it was a poor kick. He's trying his best to pick it up, knowing that if he can catch it before it has a chance to roll, he'll save some yardage. Trying to catch it on the run, he ran into it and just dropped it.
Rare day when he makes a mistake. Rare day.
We are probably now going to see the Cardinals double wing that Don was talking about in the first half. Freddie Hyatt comes in, number 88. Moore now flanked out to the left, Mel Gray to the right. They'll bring these wing backs around. They can pitch to them on the run. There's a very effective. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, you can't have two people doing that.
You saw the flags fly.
Well, they're having a little talk back there.
I don't think we need to say that was a new formation.
Mel Gray and Bobby Moore just having a little talk about that mix-up.
Looks pretty funny because they hit and they took off at the same time. And he was even fumbled out there. He dropped it, bounced it once, and picked it up.
Nice bounce. Took a nice
bounce.
Well, what would have happened if they had to stop?
Well, on a certain count, it's designated in the huddle that someone's going to go in motion. I don't have any idea which one was wrong, but Freddie Hight's the newest one in there, so, well, you can't say. Anyway, one of them was not supposed to do that. Usually the quarterback gives you a move with a foot, or maybe it's a certain count that he has when they go in motion. Obviously, they misunderstood in the huddle, and both of them went in motion.
Back in the same formation, Moore left, Gray right, second down and 9. Number 47. There's the speech to Gray. Oh, and he popped. Oh, boy, Mike Colin just about went into the end zone. Oh, he'll dream about that tonight.
That really would have been an unusual interception because it was in and out of the hands of Gray, and he threw it forward about 5 yards.
Miami showing a lot of different moves tonight, probably hoping that the other AFC contenders will be looking on and having to think about it.
You can see that Gray starts in motion again. Quazzo's looking down deep. Evidently they're covered. He flips off to Gray. He had it, and then it got away. And there was Colin coming in. That ball he could have run that one all the way back.
Lloyd Mumford is in. Nick Bonacani is out. Third down and 9 from the 47. This is Johnson, Curtis Johnson.
He just wasn't open.
You can't force it in there like that, Don.
Their defensive techniques, though, are beautiful, Frank.
Frank, I thought he was probably
going
to come back with that same pass to Mel Gray because it was the same formation. They're coming downfield. That ball was way behind him. Supposed to go to the outside. Curtis Johnson, as Frank pointed out, number 45, was playing his position very well and picked it off. I tell you, these Dolphins could really blow this thing wide open here because they look as if they're fired up. They had a good drive the first time they had the ball. Let's see what they do.
Giving the call is Jim Keck. He's up to the 50-yard line, gain of 4. Jim Hart boosting up as Eddie Hughes the coach of the quarterbacks for the Cardinals, comes over to have a little visit.
Well, they got to get the ball back first, and that defense of Miami's keeps getting the ball from Miami and quickly. And I think a lot of credit should go to an unsung guy named Bill Onsparger, their defensive coach. He has done some job with this team.
Defensively, number one in all areas in the AFC is kick. Will be short of the first down at the 47.
For that matter, Howard Schnellenberger has done some job as the offensive coach. Where Shula's a genius is in his coordination of these people. It's a beautifully put together coaching staff, and the net result is a beautifully put together football team.
He has a human touch that the players appreciate too. Everyone say he's extremely fair.
Earl Morrall looking over a third and a long two. The ball at the 46. The Cardinals 46. It's his kick behind Larry Little. I don't believe he made it.
No, he
did
didn't.
Get up to about the 44. And will we see Garo Yepremian?
It appeared to me that Jim, in trying to make his cut there, just slipped down a little bit because he was running laterally, and when he tried to cut upfield, it appeared that maybe his knees or his feet slipped up from under him. I don't know what it was.
A little time maker gets another shot.
And we're looking at Billy Loveridge, apparently. Don Shula will not try that field goal, which would have been from about 54 yards out. Tried one earlier. This time says no.
Uh-oh. There it is, the Billy Loveridge bounce.
What his debut as a Miami punter.
I bet we'll see a big old grin. No? Oh, he says it's nothing, folks. Shucks, I do that all the time.
43 yards. It's down at the 4-yard line, and we'll be back in the Orange Bowl after this. Jim Hart is the new Cardinal quarterback, and what a spot to put him in, Don. He's on his own 4-yard line.
Yeah, that's trouble right here in Miami City.
He's familiar with that situation.
Yeah, you can get familiar with it, but you never do get where you like it. Jim's been their starting quarterback off and on for the last few years. Hitting about 50% of his passes this year.
7-year veteran out of Southern Illinois. Johnny Rowland leans a little bit.
Yep, they caught him.
They got him. Flags fall. You saw Johnny Rowland lean just a little before the ball was snapped.
They might not take that penalty because they got him pretty well backed up. It is a motion penalty against the Cardinals. Half the distance to the goal would put it back to the 3. They stopped him pretty close to the line of scrimmage there, didn't they, Frank?
Well, Shula may be experimenting a little bit here, Dandy. Bonacani is out. Poland's in as the middle linebacker, and Jesse Powell is moved into the linebacker.
Barry Quazzo on the sidelines. He has been up against a very tough bunch of Miami Dolphins.
It's a very helpless feeling. You got to have a great deal of empathy for him because he does have some talent. He's had a difficult time putting it all together in one season. Got to think that maybe he will someday.
Penalty declined, as Don mentioned a moment ago. Second down now and 8. Hart firing his first pass, and it's in and out of the hands of Mel Gray. Too high for the 5'9" Mel Gray.
Pretty well covered that time, Frank. He had Anderson up in front, and he had number 25 Foley there with him, so they had to lay that one in there pretty gentle. Quarterback has to keep thinking, too. You know, I'm backed up. They don't have to run very far if they pick one of them off. So it'll be a sure 6.
I'm still watching Shula with those defenses. Matheson, 53, is in there now. And Bonacani, who got a big write-up in the Miami Herald picture section yesterday, said, I wonder what it would be like to be as big as Matheson. 6'4" and 255.
On third down and 8, 48 is Craig Bainham, former teammate of Don from the Dallas Cowboys. He's in a setback. Hart.
Oh, there you go.
Well, Lloyd Mumford.
He's going to score. Oh, I really hate to see that for Jim Hartz, but the fans here in Miami are really happy.
That may be, but that's Don Shula for you. He just put Mumford in there, number 26, with the extra back on pass defense. Look at it again, Dandy, at ground level.
There's no question they're well coached, Howard. It's a difficult spot to throw from. Jim's throwing it out there. Looks like he's going for Jackie Smith. It's way overthrown, as you can see. They had their defenders pretty deep. He almost fell. Lloyd Mumford there. Mel Gray almost caught him. Jim Hart was out in front, but he was blocked, so that pretty well put it out of reach.
Lloyd Mumford, 4 years out of Texas Southern. This is Garo Yepremian. Earl Morrow hurries the hole. It's good. There he is, very happy. He's quite a football player. He's had a good year.
I imagine they can find a lot of things to be happy about when they've won 10 and lost 0 and they're having the kind of night they're having tonight. Jim gets pretty good protection here, as you see. That ball is just overthrown, and it goes to Smith. He can't reach it, and here's Mumford coming up from his deep. Actually, I think he was at the quarterback. I mean, the safety in there. And Howard mentioned it's kind of an unusual defense, but you can see the guys rallying in there to get out in front of him. That's Mike Cohen, number 57, is in front. He's going to block on Hart.
Don, one thing about throwing an interception for a touchdown, you get to come back and play again right away.
That's true.
You know, Mumford has a slight shoulder separation and wears a harness. He's another of those guys who's willing to play hurt, same way Meredith did for all the years.
Yes.
Caro Yepremian. The little man put the foot to that one.
Yepremian had a statement in the paper here. Says, the proudest thing, proudest thing in my life. They thought, well, maybe it was the field goal against Kansas City or a 54-yarder. He says, no. But I worked on for about 5 months the new weave for my tie for the Miami Dolphin ties. And I think he's probably gotten more free publicity on television about his ties.
All right, the Cardinals now trailing 24-3. First and 10, they'll move from the 20. Jim Hart has replaced Gary Quazzo at quarterback. Donnie Anderson back in it, one setback, 44. Rollins 23. This is Anderson. Conrad Dobler out in front.
No startling news, but oftentimes when a new quarterback comes in, there is a difference in their rhythm and their cadence, and I think that's caused a little problem. We've seen one motion penalty, and it appeared that Jackie Smith was a little bit premature in his move off the line. And although they play with a quarterback, you get used to hearing a certain sound. And Hart must be a little bit different. Holloway cannot be happy. Eddie Hughes, neither can you. And neither can you, Jim. There's no joy in St. Louis tonight.
All right, the illegal procedure call against the Cardinals. It'll be first down now in 15. 4 minutes and 1 second remain in the third quarter. The Dolphins up in front 24-3, moving towards their 11th straight. Miami making several defensive changes. Hart, the time to throw. Gets it out to 38, Leon Burns.
Burns came in. He was their starter for a while. And one of the Johnny Rowland stories, that was one of the times he was sitting on the bench. The players and coaches of the Cardinal team respect Johnny Rowland for keeping his enthusiasm. He says, I've done it once before, and I think I can do it again. Gives you a clue of what's been happening on the ground tonight. However, Miami is not anywhere close to what they've been accumulating in the past. They've been averaging over 200 yards a game rushing.
They're doing well on the scoreboard. It'll be second down now, along 3, the ball at the 27. This is Anderson. Following the block of Dobler, I don't know whether he made the first or not. He had to get just up to the 30-yard mark.
Well, you mentioned Conrad Dobler, a name that hasn't been used tonight. He's a rookie from Wyoming. And, Don, they say he's a pretty tough kid. Gets in a fight almost every week that he's going to really make it. And he's the spitting image of our old friend, number 22 from Florida State, Burt Reynolds.
You know, Conrad was with the Cardinals early this year, and they released him. He went back to Wyoming to finish his schooling. Had a couple of guys hurt, and they called him back. He says, man, I was glad to get that telephone call because I'm happy to be a part of this Cardinal team.
Anderson gets the call and gets the first down, I believe. He had to get just to the 30. Depends on where they mark it. First down.
Did you just see that youngster run across the field while play was going on?
I didn't.
Honestly, Howard, I didn't see him either.
Did you see somebody run across the field, Howard?
Yes, down around the 20-yard line. He's being escorted off the premises now. And you just can't understand why anybody would do that. No cause for it. Action that can't be counted.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom, and there wasn't one on his side of the field.
That's conceivable.
First down and 10 for the Cardinals from the 31. Anderson on the play fake.
That's good.
Jackie Smith, did he hold on long enough? No. No, incomplete. Jake Scott came up with it, ruled incomplete. And Jackie Smith says, I had it, I was out of bounds. Okay, second down and 10. Right now Anderson teamed with Leon Burns. Hart bravely sending both of his backs out. He completes it to Anderson, gain of 6. Out to about the 35-yard mark. Hit there by Jesse Powell, another Miami substitution, number 56.
Quite frankly, Donnie, as we look at him there, had his problems with Dan Devine. It was nothing personal. He wasn't Dan's kind of football player. Dan wanted a much stronger blocker, and he felt MacArthur Lane was that. He never knocked Anderson as a player. He thinks he's a quality player, but not cut to the mold in which he wanted to build his football team. Just one of those things.
They're moving that ball around out there a little bit, and there seems to be some disgruntled football players in the St. Louis Cardinal team, but I don't think they're going to make much headway with the official. They had marked it further up the field at one time, but I believe the official decided that it was more closely where Donnie Anderson landed after he was hit fairly hard by a couple of those Dolphins.
Hart, 2 of 5 to his people,
One to the
other people.
That's good, Frank. That's good.
Third down, 6 yards. Ball resting at the 35. Mel Bray motions left. And, almost intercepted by number 25, Tim Foley. Boy, and I'll tell you, these Dolphins in that secondary are all around the ball.
Yep, they're everywhere. Ubiquitous.
Well, he's got some time to throw. Again, it appears to be a little bit high. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit high. Almost was tipped and caught by Bobby Moore, who was the intended receiver.
And now dropping deep on 4th down, Jake Scott, Donnie Anderson, who trailing 24-3, will probably punt, but keep in mind he can also run. And he can pass. And he can kick. Fair catch by Anderson, lets it go. Oh, and takes a good Cardinal bounce.
That's what he was trying to prevent that punt before, Frank, and I suppose he remembered his difficulty in handling that one. He let that one go.
Oh, and he gets 51 yards out of it.
Not very good statistics for Donnie tonight, but not all his fault either.
A lot of it has to do with the number 1 team against the rush, these people. And here's Zonka. Zonka over the 15 to the 18 as the gun sounds, ending the 3rd quarter. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Dolphins 24, the Cardinals 3. We'll return after this word from our local stations. 2nd down and 5. Ball resting at the 19-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. In control of the football game, 24-3 over the Cardinals as we begin the 4th quarter. Morrill going all the way. And fires for Briscoe, a little long. 3rd down now and 5. Pulley is in, along with Stowe. Morrill has Pulley right, Stowe left. Oh, and, well, when you read the zone, sometimes you confuse your quarterback. Or vice versa.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my instinct tells me that Stowe was the one that was supposed to go deep that time.
Morrill to the sidelines. Out comes Billy Lothridge, who was called in from Atlanta, where he is retired and was in business after being relieved from his duties with Atlanta last year.
He sure has him a pretty little old Texas bride. Came down there and married old Mary Beth and took her back to Georgia.
All right, Roger Worley. And Worley right at the 50-yard mark. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Miami Dolphins, continues from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, with the score: the Dolphins 23, the Cardinals 3. All right, the Cardinals in good field position. However, trailing 24-3, they have a big job out in front of themselves. They'll move 1st and 10 from their own 49. Leo Hayden has come into the backfield for the Cardinals, number 32. He gets the play fake. And the Goes out to Moore. And the number 1 pick of the Cardinals from last year gets the first down. He's run out of bounds by Jesse Powell. And Moore gets the first down. The ball at the 39. First and 10. This is Rowland. Heading back to the 35. Johnny Rowland, who broke the record set by Charlie Trippi many, many years ago. Vern Den Herder in on the stop. Second down and 8. Ball at the 36. Jim Hart has come on in relief of quarterback Gary Quazzo. Oh, and Manny Fernandez thought he detected a little something. Probably the most underrated of the tackles around in defensive football today, at least according to Nick Bonacani. All right, now at the second down and 3, anticipating the run, you will get Bill Stanfield back into the lineup. Jesse Powell comes out. Dolphins back in their standard 4-3. Hart. Whoa. Did he have the ball long enough for possession? No, he did not. Mel Gray thought maybe he did, and
Boy, Mel Gray got a little scrapper there, Frank.
yes, we had a little action too from number 49, Charles Babb, and number 72 of the Cardinals, Dan Deerdorf. And Babb should learn about taking on linemen. They're the big people. Well, they're looking for their second one. It's third down and 3. Jim Hart puts Gray out to the left, Bobby Moore to the right, Leon Burns one setback, Johnny Rowland the other. Number 31,
I don't time.
out to Bobby Moore.
Oh, how Don looks, those third down sideline hitches. Just timed right and just enough for the first down, probably. That's the way you got to do it, huh, Dandy?
Yeah, it is pretty to watch. You know, it's one of those things that should be pretty close to automatic. Hardly ever is, but has a lot to do with timing. You got to work together. And Bobby Moore is going to be a good one. He himself says, I think, getting to know the quarterback is going to help a whole lot. They've had a lot of quarterback changes this year in St. Louis. He says, as soon as we start working one unit, he says, I think I'm going to like it a lot better.
First down and 10. Cardinals now have Leo Burns, number 38, and Leo Hayden as 2 setbacks. And this is the reverse. Goes to Jackie Smith. And the 10-year veteran from Northwest Louisiana.
Flag goes down out there, too.
And a flag is down. Bob Matheson made the stop. Flipping. Flipping call. I believe levied against the center, Tom Banks. And referee Bernie Olden marks off the big one. First down and 25. The Cardinals trailing 24-3, 12:46 remaining in the game. And here comes Mel Gray. Hart firing to Jackie Smith.
Tell you, the ball was well thrown. There goes the flag. Appears to be maybe a little unnecessary roughness, or whatever you call it. Hopefully we'll see it again. You'll see how Jackie Smith caught that ball right in his fingertips. Some receivers seem to have a need to clutch it into their body to hang on to it. In my opinion, the really good ones are the ones that can reach out there and grab it with their hands and put it away. You'll see Smith coming on a cross. We call it a cross pattern. The ball is well thrown. Watch those hands that he had in there. Let's see. I think we maybe get a late hit. Yep. And that's what the flag is. Another 15 yards. So the Cardinals are first down right in there in good scoring position.
Personal foul indicated against the Dolphins, and that puts the ball at the 13-yard line of the Dolphins.
With 12:35 to go, the Dolphins lead 24-3. This is the time for us to say, if St. Louis can score now and can score again and can score again, we've got a big football game.
I'm glad you said it, Howard.
I bet they don't.
I don't gamble myself.
Jim Hart gives the ball to number 38. That's Leo Burns. Leon Burns in his second year out of Cal State. Gain of 5 for Burns. inside the 10, second down and 5. This is Leo Hayden, Minnesota's top draft pick of a year ago. He's dropped by Charles Babb, number 49, as Miami continues their substitutions.
We were told we'd see a lot more of Hayden than we have, Frank, before the game, remember? Wanted to test his speed. Been looking good in practice.
Actually, he's there because Ed Marinaro was the man Bud Grant decided to keep up in Minnesota. Leo Hayden went late. Cardinals took him. Third down now, 2. And I don't know whether I'd try and challenge that Miami defense with the run. Let's see what quarterback Jim Hart comes up with. Well, boy, Leon Burns, and he did not come up with the first down.
No, he came up with 0.
I'm amazed, though, at how big these guys are. He does almost a full split, I believe is what they call that in your ballet classes. But look at Leon Burns. He comes in. Good hit right there. He turns around. Little Jake Scott, number 13, he comes there and puts the final touches on him.
I'm telling you, that Scott's a wild one. You know, he played Canadian football, and he'll run with anything and hit with everything.
We've got a fourth down, almost 2 yards to go, and this call will have come from the bench. Not that one. Well, look at Jim Hart. First down.
On a busted play in the backfield.
Great call. Mike Colin.
Any way you can get it. There's a mix-up. You can see that I think that's what he was supposed to do, was fake and go out, because you see a pull by the guard there, but he looked to me, he ran into, was that Leon Burns he ran into, or was it Hayden?
Hayden.
Sure, the play was a fake into the middle of the line and let him come out on a bootleg with an option runner pass, so Holloway saying,
Holloway and Bill Austin together.
he's saying take it any way you can get it.
I think he'll smile even at this late date because he will take it.
First and goal from the 2. Cardinals trailing 24-3.
All right.
There he goes. Rolling into the end zone. Burns, Leon Burns. He is a big man. 235 pounds.
And here's just another shot of the touchdown. We saw Burns a while ago go offside, barely contended with. He's sliding right through the tackler. Got some good blocks up front. So Hayden, number 32, out in front of him. Kind of paving the way. Jim Bakken kicking.
And he shortens up the Dolphins' lead to 2 touchdowns. If the Cardinals can get one more and then one more.
And then one field goal.
But nevertheless, we'll be back in the Orange Bowl after this. Well, I don't know whether it'll be an onside kick or not, but the Cardinals were bunched together. That's something they ordinarily do not do prior to a kickoff. Meanwhile, the Dolphins slip back Mercury Morris as the lone safety. Should Bakken decide to go with an onside kick, trailing by 14 points, 9:42 remaining in the game, he would probably kick it to his left, where Roger Worley is located. Roger Worley with the good hands. The single safety, Mercury Morris. It must travel 10, and we get the straightaway kick to Mercury Morris. Morris over the 15, up to about the 18-yard line goes Mercury Morris. Miami Dolphins looking for number 11. Oddly enough, their closest game this year, a 24-23 win over Buffalo.
Why oddly?
Well, I thought it was odd. All right, the ball mark just short of the 20-yard mark. Earl Morrall going all the way. Here's Morris. Oh, can he turn it on? Out to the 36 goes Lightning Mercury Morris. Roger Worley made the stop.
I said, why oddly, Frank, half kiddingly. But as we look at this again, let me say this about Buffalo. They're just a couple of players away from being a top contender. Little help in that offensive line as you watch Mercury Morris turn it on. Simpson's having a great year without all the help in the world.
Clock moving, 8:33 remaining in the game. Dolphins 24, Cardinals 3. And Morrall, I think, anticipating the snap a little early, and here goes the other one, Zonka. Look at him run.
Well, that was a funny-looking play. Looked like everybody was just kind of standing around there. Zonka was the only one that was moving. His offensive line didn't move that much. Let's see it again. Well, they're in there playing around, though. Then Zonka's finding him a place to go. Cut to the outside. Miller Farr, Roger Worley. And I'll ride you for a while, pal.
They keep churning out the yardage this way in the late going. They'll have that 200-yard ground game before they're done.
You're talking about that Buffalo game. I read a story in the paper down here. Mar Fleming caught a touchdown pass, and as he was coming out of the end zone, he found a $10 bill lying in the end zone. Now, you don't do that too often.
Wouldn't tear it up in 40 pieces, though.
From the 44, first and 10, flag goes down, Zonka goes down, wrapped up in the arms of Larry Stallings. Zonka, 77 yards on the night.
Yeah. It appears they got Wayne Moore on that one, number 79. Appears to be a holding call against the Dolphins. Let's see if we can pick it up. That's Kuchenberg, number 67, out in front. Here's Zonka. Watch number 79. He's got a pretty good grip there on that jersey.
He's a good player, that Moore. He plays behind Cruzan, and what was it Nick said yesterday? He could make at least 16 teams in the NFL. Didn't he tell us that, Frank?
Exactly right.
And how does he know?
I'd
He
go
is
with
the lawyer.
Nick.
First down at 25 following the penalty. Oh, just over the 40 of the Dolphins. 8:11 remaining in the game. Sixth man again, number 39, Zonka rolls over the 50. Well, coming up just short of the 50 is Zonka. No, to about the 49 of the Cardinals. Been a tough year for this Cardinal team. They have had more injuries than you could possibly imagine. Second down now and 15. Dolphins got on scoreboard first. Kick scoring from 2 yards out. St. Louis came back with a field goal. Miami got their own field goal. It was 10-3 at the halftime. The Dolphins have broken it open in the third quarter. Look how quick Mercury Morris is.
He really is. Here comes a couple more flags.
Yep.
That's probably a face guard or something like that. Whatever it was, they didn't like it down there.
Throw Dale Hackbart in there, Don. He'll get in there on you.
He really is careful, too. Hackbart's no quarterback. And he's got him on a lot of specialty teams. They were telling a joke on him this afternoon. They all went dove hunting. He hadn't been dove hunting before. They put him off the field by himself, and they said, Hackbart came back with the biggest sack of kildees you ever saw in your life. Thought he'd been shooting doves.
It's a face mask, obviously, and let's take another look at it.
You saw Mercury Morris make his reaction when he saw Don Brum, number 86, go upfield there. Picked up a good one right here, and let's see, you can see it pretty good. There's that face mask. Old Dale says you got to get him any way you can.
He is one of the funniest men in American sports, that Hackbart, and he's a great imitator, great mimic.
Tried to match his size and legs with mine today, and he won.
Automatic first down goes with the face mask penalty. First and 10 Miami. Moving on the Cardinals 43. And over the 40 to the 39. Morris and Zonka both having fine nights this evening. Coming into the game, Morris having by far his best year, 639 yards coming into tonight. He's gained 59 more tonight.
I wonder how many backs will hit 1,000 yards this season, Frank. Maybe moving those hash marks in is the whole answer.
That and getting a good offensive line.
Second down and 7, the ball resting just short of the 39-yard line of the Cardinals. Morrill almost trips again. Gets the screen to Mercury Morris. Morris inside the 30. Fine blocking out front.
Carrying that ball rather dangerously. He had it out in one hand, but obviously he knew what he was doing. He does have some great moves. He's an exciting player to watch because he's very quick. Let's see, Earl. He's coming back again. Flips it right over a little screen pass to Morris. Now watch him out that ball. He's got a loaf of bread in his hand. And then he puts it away. Gets everything he can.
What a new dimension Morris adds to the Dolphins. They still have kick to come back with, but boy, can this young man get to the outside. Picks up the first down at the 28-yard mark. Here comes Larry Wilson. The safety blitz is picked up. It could be 6.
He is so wide open.
That's what happens when you pick up the safety blitz. Otto Snow gets his second touchdown.
I think he's was just so wide open over there. He was good.
Uncovered totally, but Frank noticed so well the way that safety blitz was picked up on Larry Wilson. Beautiful. See the youngster?
All right, here's Zonka. I believe he's the one that picks up Larry Wilson, number 8. And Earl has plenty of time to throw, and I'm telling you, Otto Stowe is all alone. Old Thompson's having his trouble tonight. Mr. Stowe.
And Earl Morrill having quite a night. His second touchdown pass to Otto Stowe. He's 12 of 18, 210 yards. And the ageless one continues to roll on. The ageless? Well, I would call him ageless. Still has his crew cut. Stowe now 5 receptions, 123 yards as we look at Gower Yepremian. Well, who is it against? Offside Cardinals. Apparently the whistle had blown, contact hadn't been made. The whistle blown before the ball had been snapped. So we'll do it again. Yepremian looking for the 31st Dolphin point. There it is. So the Miami Dolphins extend their lead 31-10 over the St. Louis Cardinals. Garo Yepremian sets it up. 6 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the game. On your left, Bobby Moore. On your right, number 32, Leo Hayden. And Bobby Moore will have an opportunity, and watch the stride of this man. And he strides out to about the 27. Where he's nailed rather convincingly by number 57, Mike Colon. Number 60, also there, Al Jenkins.
As this game begins to grind down, Giffer, with slightly more than 6 minutes left, in retrospect, it's gone about as expected. Miami a little sluggish in the first half, putting things together in the second half. Morrill mixing the pass with the run beautifully. 2 TD passes to Stowe. And they're just a good football team.
Solid in just about every way. All right, the flags go. Cardinals looking a little disorganized. I believe they might have taken too much time.
Miami. Excuse me, Frank. I was just going to say it's a helpless feeling to be down about 21 points and you're trying to regroup at this time of the game and say, look, I'm ready. I guess I'm talking about from a quarterback standpoint. Jim Hart's come in there late, had one picked off, run back for a touchdown. It has to affect your confidence, and I understand that this has been one of the problems in St. Louis is to get the right type of confidence or leadership that they're looking for all year. And here's a guy that has some ability. You got to wonder, well, what's going to happen to me next?
All right, he has 5 minutes and 44 seconds to find out. And it goes out to Leo Hayden, the screen. Dobra with a good block, and Hayden gets up to the 40-yard line.
The screens should be open, maybe in the short zones, but these guys are going to be playing fairly deep. They're in a kind of a semi-prevent defense, and I'm sure Hart's aware of that also, but he's trying to get the ball down the field the best way he can and get whatever points he can on the scoreboard. They need touchdowns, not field goals.
And right now, trailing 31-10. Hart sends both backs out of the backfield. Oh, and almost intercepted, and I believe caught. Yes, it was Bobby Moore with the quick hands. Mike Colon had his hands on the ball, and Bobby Moore very alertly came up with the reception. Down to the 47-yard line of the Dolphins. It was funny listening to him talk about it yesterday. That I went from the youngster to the veteran to the aging veteran, and I can tell him that's the process. First and 10 from the 47. Hart trying one deep. Moore back there defending as he has been so many times. Johnny on the spot, number 25, Tim Foley.
He was just pretty well covered. He did make a good attempt to catch the ball. Bobby Moore, we've been talking about him tonight. Number 1 draft choice with awful lot of talent. That ball was thrown a long way, but you see Foley's right in there. He's trying to stay away from Moore's body so they won't call an interference call, but Moore almost went over the top there and picked that one up. But
Foley stayed right with him, and Moore is a swift one. Their coverage is beautiful.
All right, out comes one linebacker, and in comes Mumford. Mumford, who has already returned one interception for a touchdown in the Miami prevent defense. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 47. Clock moving, 4:09. Oh, lost the football. Miami recovers. Might be Malty Moore, 65. It is. Malty Moore with the recovery. Howard, you stop trying to make friends out in St. Louis.
I think the people in St. Louis are exceptionally good fans, as a matter of fact. They're disgruntled about that team. That's understandable, but they also understand the injuries that team has had. They'll be fair to Holloway.
3:43, clock moving. New quarterback is in the game, and this is Jim Delgado.
And he'll lend some interest to the late going here because he's a highly regarded young man. Shula thinks he's got a big future.
In relief not too long ago, 2 of them were for touchdowns. 145 yards.
Did a taxi job all last year with Miami. Out of Tampa University. Zonka working hard. Miami goes on to meet New England next week, and then they go up to Yankee Stadium where they meet a pretty red-hot bunch of New York Giants. Set a scoring record yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles, and have had quite a record. Been a long time since the Giant team got into the 60s, but that is a club scoring record. Okay, on the 3rd and short yardage, and look at the big man ball. Larry Zonka, what can you say? He just runs over people. Nothing
That puts
subtle
Larry
about him.
over the 100-yard mark for the day, Frank. 15 carries, 108 yards. This team will probably get to its 206-yard average per game on the ground before time runs out.
And Zonka gets a standing ovation from 80,000 Dolphin fans. 2-minute warning. We'll be back in Miami after this. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The Dolphins in command of the Cardinals, 31-10. Some of the more exuberant Miami Dolphin fans being a little discourteous, running out onto the field, fighting with the officers. We certainly would not show it. From the 33-yard line on 1st and 10, the Dolphins. And this is Ginn, Hubert Ginn. Okay, a 2nd down and 6 now. The ball resting at the 28-yard line of the Cardinals. Jim Delgado. You can't throw him much better than that. Boy, he drilled that time.
Oh, catch him much better. That Otto Stowe is some kind of receiver.
Yeah, old Norm Thompson's going to remember this, but watch this kid right here. Sets real good, follows through. Watch that ball is right on target. Good move out there by Stowe.
Clock stop, 1:16. Miami threatened again. They lead 31-10. They've never been in trouble, although at halftime, their lead was only 10-3. Came back. Mumford returned an interception, 28 yards. Burns scored for St. Louis. But the Dolphins in complete control. Oh, Hubert Ginn gets a little upset.
There's a lot of weird people out here.
Dandy's referring to the fact that still another fan has run out on the field, and there have been many of them.
Illegal procedure. Boy, look at that.
Yeah, they piled it up this half, Don, Frank. That's the whole story. Second straight year down here in the Orange Bowl, fellas. We've had the Dolphins, and they've fought it on. Last year, they proved their worth when they crushed the Bears 34-3. And now they're quite possibly on their way to making it 38 points for the evening against the Cardinals. They lead 31-10, a minute 14 to go.
In the Dolphin huddle, the rookie from Tampa. Although he did taxi last year, he's rated as a rookie, Jim Delgado. Charlie Lee. Down to about the 2.5-yard mark. And Otto Stowe, as Howard mentioned a moment ago, has had himself some night. 2 touchdowns. Great hands. He's a lot of promise.
He's averaged 24 yards per reception, Gift. That may be better than you had in your last year.
I guarantee you. Clock moving, 42, and the Miami Dolphin fans want more. Hubert Ginn, Larry Wilson, he's another man that won't quit on you, is there along with Hargrove. This is some kind of a player. Third active interceptor for the National Football Conference. Has 49 career interceptions.
The fans are booing. They want even more. But the Dolphins are going to let this clock run out. It's 5. It's 4. They're not seeking to pour it on any more than they have to.
And that's how it's going to wind up. The Miami Dolphins winning their 11th straight game. 31-10 over the St. Louis Cardinals. And this is some kind of football team. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl right after this message. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith saying so long from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida.